Hi, this is Amanda Elo'esh, and I'm here with your weekly Heads Up inspiration for bringing the magic into your life. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about gratitude because I've been looking at some of the different practices that I have: spiritual composting, spider medicine, which is all about manifestation and how we create what we want in our lives. And I realized that those two pieces, and also healing old wounds. And I realized that those three pieces, which are big, turning pain and challenge into limitless joy, manifesting what we want, and healing old wounds, if we all had the ability to do all those things, I think we'd all be very shiny, happy people. And those are the things that I teach in the Living Wisdom School, and those are the things that I support my clients in doing for themselves and having for themselves. And I started realizing, as I look at those three practices or experiences, they all have this one key element that kind of feels like maybe the keystone to all of them, very possibly the most important element of all of them, when that is gratitude. So for healing, and I guess healing and spiritual composting are basically, for me, the same thing, because it can be something old that's in our experience that's been causing pain, suffering, challenge, or something new that we have in our lives that brings something that's challenging or painful or brings suffering. So those two pieces, how does gratitude help those? Well, I believe that everything that we experience in our lives, everything that we're born with, everything that we grow up with, every challenge that we have is a gift. And at the very least, it's an opportunity to grow and become stronger. And at the very most, it can be our greatest ally, and it can create experiences, awareness, insight, skills, talents, inspirations that we would have never had otherwise. And most of the amazing people that I know of, who I know a little bit about their biographies, they all will always share that the challenges, the thing that caused them the most difficulty, ended up being the thing that helped them really find their purpose in life and brought passion and joy and fulfillment to themselves, because they also used it to help other people. So gratitude is this experience in spiritual composting of really just assuming that what you're being given or what you're experiencing in the moment is a gift from the Holy, which is what I always assume. It's not always my first cognizant reaction. I'm still working on that, quick response of gratitude and spiritual composting, and the alchemy of turning something difficult into something really joyful. But I'm getting better at it. The more I practice it and the more I help other people to do it and figure out how it works for them, the more ways and tools I have to make it work for me. But being in a place of gratitude and assuming when somebody or something is happening, somebody's up in my face or there's something going on that's really not pleasant, if I can consistently remember to be grateful and to say thank you, even if it's not a verbal thank you, if I can just say it in my heart, thank you. It's a whole trigger to the full cycle of, oh yes, what's happening right now is a gift. I'm being given something, and I have the opportunity to either put on my thinking cap and my explorer's cap and choose to really focus on discovering what that gift is, or I can stay stuck in the, stories and justifications for why I should be upset or reactive in whatever way might come up. So that presencing of gratitude really helps spark that realization, that memory that I can do spiritual composting with everything. I can turn everything into something useful, something helpful, something joyful. So gratitude plays a key role, and if you're not familiar with spiritual composting, I'll definitely be covering more in all of my weekly inspirations. You can catch them on my website, amandaeloesh.com. If you're not here already, get on over here and check it out. And I'll be covering it in the future as well, as it's a foundational piece of who I am, what I do, and what makes my life so magical and beautiful. So the other piece of how do we use gratitude, so that's how we use gratitude to heal old wounds and to transform things in our current situation that are causing us pain or any kind of suffering or discomfort. And I'm talking about physical stuff too. I've been able to transform physical pain and ailments through this practice as well. But how does gratitude play into manifestation? Well, this is touching on several other topics that I'm just going to talk about very briefly. But if it doesn't fully sink in, recognize I've lectured, and I don't like the word lecture, but I've presented in university about this very specific experience. So the mind, in our imaginations, it's really one of the elements, it's the only element in the human experience that is limitless. Even if we feel like we don't have a very expansive or creative imagination, somebody could share with us a new idea, and there it is. It's in our imagination, and we can always add to it. And because of that infinite possibility for our imaginal realms in our minds, I believe that that's our portal to the divine, and that's the opening to manifesting miracles. And through magnetic frequencies, law of attraction, you may be familiar with that. Like attracts like, and when we create positive vibrations in our experience, we tend to draw reflections of that. And when we want to manifest something, if we, instead of asking for it or intending for it to be there in the future, which we don't live in, and instead take moments to drop in and really fully imagine what it would be like to have that experience already. So the perfect relationship, really walking our divine purpose, being free of pain and suffering. What would that be like? And when we allow ourselves to drop in and let our imagination go and really fill in as many of the blanks as possible, and just pretend that we're in that experience already, that helps create a new blueprint that helps us to get unstuck from old stories and old repetitive patterns. And the experience of gratitude comes in when we get to a place where we allow our imagination to call in that experience. We give thanks to all the elements, all the people, even, probably most of which are unknown to us, but just saying thank you God, thank you Goddess, thank you Creator, thank you all elements, thank you friends, family, unseen guides and allies. Thank you for bringing me to this place where I no longer have this pain and suffering, and instead I have this amazing thing in my life. I have this thing I've been longing for and wanting to create. My business is finally as successful as I dreamed it could possibly be, and maybe even more. I give thanks as though it's already happened. And what this does is it creates that frequency of it already happening. And I can't explain why, although I have seen lots of TED Talks and read even scientific articles that talk about the neurology of the brain and frequencies in the body and how we can create miracles through changing our thoughts. The science is there, the experience is there. I won't go into all of that right now. But when we take a moment to pretend that we already have what we need and really let our whole body, our neurology, everything in our body, sit in that and say thank you, and take as much time to say thank you for bringing me here. It really speeds up that process of calling in the resources we need, calling in the inspirations and connections we need to have and make, and the right people show up, the timing happens, because all of a sudden we've attuned ourselves to the vibration of that new reality. And so what we find is that, oh, there are all these, everything I need is right here. Here it is, and it's happening, and it unfolds much more quickly. And I've paid attention to this in my own life and watched the manifestation process and looked at how fast things can unfold for me when I do it this way. And as I've tuned into other visionary people and looked at what they're saying about it, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, there can be a little bit different flavoring or a slightly different perspective on it, but it's basically the same thing. So this whole gratitude practice, it can heal, it can transform pain and suffering, and it can bring you to what you want. So, but how do you use gratitude? Well, I've kind of shared a little bit, but one practice I want to send you home with is really just allow yourself at least 5 minutes in the morning, because if giving thanks for stuff is new to you, it takes a while, but give yourself at least 5 minutes every morning before you do anything else to just, what can you be grateful for? Being able to take a breath that feels good, that's not strained. There are many people that don't have an easy breath. Can you go for a walk? There are many people that can't go for a walk in comfort. Do you feel safe in your home? If so, that's something big to be grateful for. Can you go for a walk in a neighborhood, in your neighborhood or a park close by, and feel safe? That's a big thing to be grateful for. Do you have any kind of money in the bank? Can you go to the store and buy food? Do you not go hungry? That's something big to be grateful for. And do you have friends? Do you have family? Do you have people who care about you? Do you have a pet? Do you have nice clothing? Do you have, can you stay warm at night when it's cold? Basic little things. And then maybe there are huge things. And what I've found is the more time I focus on saying thank you, sometimes even for the things that my modern privileged mind thinks I am entitled to, like water and food and breath, when I take time to really give thanks for those things, I start noticing that there's more stuff to be grateful for, and I start feeling really full and really cared for, and the things that I was hoping to have in my life are more likely to show up. Now, I go into some details of why in my newsletter, and I'm going to keep this video brief, but if you like what you've heard here, I encourage you again, if you're not at my website already, amandaeloesh.com, come on over, check it out. And if you like what you hear and see, then sign up for my newsletters, because I do go into some details that I don't share on my website or in my videos. And it's great to know who's enjoying what I have to share. And please leave your comments. Do you have a gratitude practice? And if you don't, try it out and let me know what happens. All right, well, that's it for this week, and I'm going to be in New Mexico studying with an amazing teacher named Martin Prechtel. He's an author, he's an incredible man and teacher, and his school is called Bullad's Kitchen. I'll be studying with him this next week, and so I won't have an actual video out. I will be putting out a newsletter, but I won't have a video out, so I'm going to miss you, and I'll look forward to tuning in again really soon. And until next time, may the magic be with you.